Karen and his kids decide my land is theirs whenever they want. The nice weather is in and the Karens are coming out. So my house sits in a big plot of land. It's 900 meters wide and stretches back 1200 meters long back into a forested area. I have the front of my property fenced off with a large gate to the main driveway and a smaller wood and wire farm style fence stretching down the width of my property that faces the road. The width has a similar small fence until it hits the forested area. Most of the forest is sugar maple that I take full advantage of and harvest maple sugar. And in my backyard I have several game traps set up mostly for rabbits, a large dog out area for a vegetable garden. Well, today I was playing some games and I hear shouting and screaming coming from my backyard. Also, I want to note I have no trespassing signs posted all over my property all around the border. Well, I go outside and see what's going on and sure enough there's 3 kids in my backyard taking shots with a slingshot on cams propped up against my large shed near my garden. Well, I go out and tell them it's time to go. It's private property, that they are going to damage my shed and it's really a bad place to play. There is a park not too far from my house. About an hour later I get a knock at door from their father. That man had nothing nice to say. I had no right to tell his kids to leave, that it's all public land. If they can access it they can use it. Again, I have a fence around my property with no trespassing signs. Also at my front gate I have an intercom. This guy jumped my fence instead of using the intercom to bitch me out. I know because on my camera I can clearly see his car parked. The guy had been standing there yelling for several minutes. I only opened my main wood door a little to see him, so there was a glass door separating us. I told the guy to leave, that he and his goblins were very lucky that my dog was not out. He is a guard dog. The guy just told me to shut my bitch face up, that I am a liar, that he and his kids will use the property anytime I want. So I just decided to show him why it's a bad idea to come on my property. I opened my big wooden door so he can see my 160 pounds King Shepherd ex-Maremma sitting there growling, looking super pissed off. Well, he decided to leave, call me a bitch and flip me off, but I don't think he will come back anytime soon. Edit, just wanted to say big teeth are good at keeping scary people at bay. Edit, I found out where they came from. They own a small 100 meter by 100 meter plot of land way behind my property line, about a kilometer away from where my property line ends. They have been making trails through all the woods right past my no trespassing signs. I am on a walk right now at the back of my property. Also puppy pictures to follow once we make it back home. If they ever show up again, say nothing and call the cops for trespassing. You have signs. No more words are necessary. Assholes like that don't get second chances. People don't read signs. At one point I had a huge sign on my door that said no flyers, yet they were left on the doorstep every week. I've read a bunch of stories on Achilles from front desk hotels about people asking for a room while looking at no vacancy signs. I suggest calling the local non-emergency law enforcement number and report the incident. Kids playing in your yard. Entitled parent threatening you. Let them know about the videos and ask if they'd like you to send a copy to them. Get a bound composition notebook and begin a record of any interactions with them. Date, time, what was said to the best of your memory. Be as non-emotional as possible. If any of them return to your property, do not engage with them. Call the local law enforcement number when you report the initial incident. Ask what number you should call if they return to your property and ask if there is anything else you can do to protect yourself, your pets and your property. I have cameras all over. I also don't want to be that person, the old ducker who called the cops on kids to get off her yard. Honestly, I don't care if they ask. They can use the forest as long as they stay out of my garden and don't break anything, but it's more about safety. When a splinter from your shed flies off and lands in one of the slingshot kids' eyes, you're going to be sued. When one of the kids runs into a gopher hole and breaks their leg, you're going to be sued. When your dog gets out without you knowing and bites one of the kids, you're going to be sued. You need to call the police yesterday and get a report started. They will be back and they will sue you. Last year I had someone driving ATVs through my property. I have crops and trees they were destroying, but I didn't know who was doing it. So I put spike strips where they were coming through and blew their tires. Turns out it was some shithead teens and their parents threw a fit and demanded I pay for the tires. I told them as soon as they paid for the trees and crop damage their kids caused, I'd buy them new tires. Dog tax, please. Literally had to search the comments. No way I was the first person to demand dog tax. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this yet, but make sure this asshole doesn't hurt your dog. It seems like people like this get petty and likely have zero moral compass. File an official report and good luck. Very good point. OP, protect your dog. Antifreeze is most common. It tastes sweet, I think. I'm not going to test it. Poison e.g. rat. And is next most common. Once again, my claim that flamethrowers solve every problem is proven true. Trespassers, flamethrower. Excess leaf brush, flamethrower. Unwanted trees, flamethrower. Jackass fence jumping Kyle, flamethrower. I like violence. Knock that shit on its head now, otherwise it might be harder to stop at a later date. Totally recommend police and or your big dog influence their decision making. My service dog is an Irish wolfhound. He weighed 280 pounds. I was driving with him in a Scion XB and a guy pulled behind me and got out of his car to confront me. I rolled down the back window and my dog stuck his massive head out and the guy ran back to his car screaming lol. I guess he didn't really want to talk lol. My wife and I live in my grandparents' house in the middle of a small city, but we have a 4-acre backyard. My grandparents, bless them, always wanted to be good neighbors and would let people back on the yard even if they didn't like it. On multiple occasions now I've had to go out back and tell people to leave. I only mow a small fraction and footing can be rather treacherous. One neighbor was a giant bitch about it when we moved in some years ago and tried to say she was part owner or something. GTFO with that shit. Another guy was trying to be all passive aggressive and say, well, I thought as neighbors it'd be ok, but you're welcome at our place anytime. I've never met the asshole and I don't even know his name. He lives like 3-4 houses down. I hate people. Keep records. Don't interact, just call the police. Entitled to holes never grasp they are wrong. Why didn't you open the glass door? Just a smidge. Lol Yarcio. I had a creepy pizza delivery guy stalk me for months and I didn't know. The guy tried to break in my house. My dog knew something bad was going on and went to the back door like he needed to pee. Well, the guy needed 80 stitches to his legs and ass, and there was lots of blood. Why dog protects his sheep at any cost? The sheep. Be careful he doesn't come back and try to hurt your dog or you. I'd hate for him to leave poisoned food in your yard just to get back at you for resisting. Alright, the jig's up. What's the good dog's name and what do they look like? Lol, well, his name is Garfield but I call him Filed. But think about a bulker king shepherd with short hair and floppy ears. Tell him I love him. Thank you, have a wonderful day with your adorable dog lol. Ah, yes, guard dog senses evil presence. That's one heck of a good puppo. He's the best dog. You're damn right he is. I have my money on saying that the man and his little kids will be back when you aren't around. Honestly, you should report them to the local police and provide the camera footage just to open the trails, so if the kids or their dad step onto your property again you already have proof that you asked them not to. Plus, if one of the kids gets hurt then you may be held liable for the injury and have to pay for all the medical care and possibly be sued by the family. Better to nip it in the bud ASAP. Might I suggest if they come back, find out where they live, then from time to time go over and just relax in their backyard. Take a chair and a book. If they have a pool, dip your feet in. I mean, if they want to use your yard as their playground, use theirs as yours. Plus, might I suggest somehow there's dog poop in the yard randomly. Trespassers will be shot signs always work better. 1 Canada, 2 guns are bad. Canada, no guns. I got you fam. Trespassers will be given a 5-gallon shot in the ass by a comically sized syringe. Boil. Canada legal. You can thank me anytime. I've got a Mastiff Maremma mix. He's so ferocious looking and snuggles in my lap every night. For some reason I thought by no trespassing sign you meant you didn't have them. My intelligence is disappointing even me. Save the tapes of him yelling at you and his kids playing in your yard. If it happens again, let it go and save the tapes. If once more, save and report them to the police. Show them the tapes and decide what's next. What state did this happen in? Sounds like you live on good land, bud. They are in Canada. I am so sorry that you have to deal with all of this foolishness. Stupidity is everywhere. Oops, my dog got out. Sorry for your balls being crushed to death. Oh, and enjoy the ticket for trespassing. Make sure to report, and make sure you also have signs everywhere that say you have a dog on property, and record the signs up and let your dog roam free. More if they try to file any reports, you have the video documenting the signs and the reports stating what happened. Like what a lot are saying, document and report him. Start a paper trail as to avoid any reverse of situation, especially when his kids get injured in your own property. Report him and his kids for illegal entry on trespassing. Yeah, call the police next time you see them. Don't interact. Do let your dog out. Just call the police, say you wanted them not to come back. Continue each time. I'd be real careful that he doesn't take a shot at your dog. He sounds unreasonable, and I wouldn't put it past a guy like that to try to get even. I'd have the cops on speed dial. He and his kids have no right to be on your property. What an amazing crossbreed. I used to have a GSD that would bark her head off at now Ekran. It's check for Fluffy. Well, some people have a cognitive development that ranges within a teaspoon. Maybe you should put up a sign where it says what doesn't kill you as you trespass will try again later. So best of luck to you, trespasser. It's early and I read the 160-pound dog is 160 kilograms. I was like, bullshit, that I over 350 pounds. No dogs get that big. King Shepherds are beautiful. I have a long-haired German Shepherd and a short-haired Shepherd. They bark a lot. I love it. Nobody messes with my house. Lol, yeah, 360 he would roll not walk, but he is still at 160 pounds, double my weight. Well, that sight of the dog was enough for him to not mess with you or have his kids on your property again, but I suggest a beware of dog sign will sway any more trespassing kids. When someone mentions a dog or pet of any kind in their post, there should be an automatic tax implemented. Dog tax required. You cannot talk about a dog and not post a picture. Please let us see the dog. Lol, I will eventually when I am home. OPO, this is my land. Entitled kids know. Oh, you are land. Round these parts that dad would get a gun stuck in his face for doing that. I wish it was possible, but Canadian laws are much different. Yeah, you'd go to jail for that there. Here, if that happened and you were trespassing and called the cops because they pulled a gun, the cops would tell you that's what you get for trespassing and to stay off other people's property. Does anyone else ever read these and either the OP doesn't know how to portray the story correctly, or it seems really biased towards OP never doing anything wrong and a super irate irrational asshole is still yelling obscenities even though OP has been the calmest they've ever been in their whole life? There's always three sides to a story and neither side tells the truth. Lol, I never said I was calm. I told him to get off my ducking land, plus a dude had to jump a fence and trespass to bang at my door. This is why I wanted GSD. I know from my stature that I am unable to look threatening and scare someone off, but if I show him a big-ass protective dog they'll rush off real quick. Yeah, lol, that's why I have a big-ass dog. I am 4'8" and 80 pounds. The dog is a guard dog. That's not what's worrying me. What's the nature of those game traps? Any warnings out on display about them? Are they kill traps or captive traps? Are they easily accessible by, say, little nosy parkers? Could said nosy parkers injure themselves on them? The no trespassing signs are the warning. Nice weather. Lol, I am in Colorado Springs and there are inches of snow. Lol, yeah, up here in Canada the nice weather has just set in for the last week. Rain for a few more days here. Also in Canada. Yeah, I'll take shit that you made up for 200. I'll take a who cares, it's enjoyable to read for 400. I hate when people say shit like this. My response would be, so that means I can come into your house and do whatever I want then. And when they splutter out a no, ask them why they feel entitled to use your property if you can't shit in their house. Go in their backyard and do similar shit. Get a really powerful slingshot and larger pebbles and fling them around at anything that can dent. Then, when they go apeshit, say the same thing he said to you and leave. Well, if they do come back, I hope there won't be an accident with the dog. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.